Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode in the Hood. I'm Jack, your Hood sommelier, and I've been challenged. My people, I've been challenged. So, if you are on YouTube and you follow whiskey channels, you actually have, Bourbon Junkies, Hot Barley Roll, you have Bourbon Whiskey Edge, and Whiskey Fancy, and a few people, and people have been challenging each other and they're challenging each other on something that I actually am not good at, and I hate to admit it. As much as I drink whiskey, I'm very picky about the type of rye that you need. This thing started with Redditt talking about 5 ryes that you need, and I'm telling you right now, I had to literally go through my repertoire of ryes to go what really fits into this category. So, Whiskey Fancies, if you guys don't follow them, make sure you follow. I will tag them here in the description. Make sure you follow Whiskey Fancy. My man, my girl, and her partner are so amazing that I couldn't say no to the challenge. So I've been challenged. So to all of you guys out there talking about 5 ryes, don't come for me, because some of these ryes I'm gonna talk about, you'll be like, oh, Hood, you're talking about this rye, but I can't find it. Doesn't matter. Those are my ryes, and I keep backups of them because. All right, let's start. 5 ryes that you need. The first one that we talked about here is a daily drinker. It took me a while to find a rye that I really liked. I think for probably 4 years, every time I drink any rye, it gave me heartburn. And this, I couldn't even settle between 1 or 2 bottles. So I have these 2 bottles here that I will talk to you about that are amazing daily drinker. The first bottle that I would tell you is the Midnight Drum, the Midnight Winter Drum. The Midnight Winter Drum, I would tell you, is rye that was finished in port cask. I'm sure, yeah, I believe, yeah, it was finished in French oak port cask, yeah, port barrel. And I would tell you the sweetness, the port that bring a little bit of sweetness to it makes me so happy. But I couldn't decide, because my new favorite rye right now is from Castle Key. Castle Key Restoration Rye is bomb. It's so good. It is so good. I had a sip of this rye and I'm like, okay, Jesus, I'll take another. So it was, so I literally, as you can see, these 2 bottles are literally halfway drinking. It's because I moved from here to here, from here to here, and I literally just switched. They're just the bomb. So every day when I come home, I feel like drinking some rye. During the winter or during a time where I feel a little chilly, I go for rye. These are my daily drinkers. So number 1 on my list is split between Midwinter Night Drum and Castle and Key Restoration Rye. These 2, you can never go wrong. You can drink it every day. You can do whatever. I'm telling you, I cannot steer you wrong. For somebody who does not like rye, I can guarantee you that I like these ones. Perfect. Now let's go to what people are calling a cheap daily mixer. Number 2, cheap daily mixer. Cheap daily mixer, yeah, because the only time I will use a rye is when in Manhattan. I will usually say I want my rye to be barrel proof. But the one rye that I had that I was like, I don't know, I really don't like how it tastes, and I made a Manhattan with it, and it was like, oh, I really do, is the old OverHoldt Rye. This bottle costs $14, and I think $11, if I'm sure. It's a cheap mixer. It's, you can't go wrong. It's barrel proof, I believe. Yeah, 114 proof. Release in Ohio 2020. 4-year rye. Good for any mixer. You make a good cocktail. You're making yourself a good either rye old fashioned or making yourself a Manhattan. I would tell you, you cannot go wrong with this OverHoldt Rye. So for me, no dig to the OverHoldt brand, but for me, this will be the cheap mixer that I will make a cocktail with someone with. is high proof enough that, like I was saying, by the time you blend it in some ice, you break down the flavor to elevate that cocktail. So to all the bartenders out there, old OverHoldt Rye would definitely do it for you. All right. Number 3. For me, every week is a long week. So Friday is probably the week where I'm like, the day where I'm like, yeah, the Friday drinker. I had a long week. I'm ready to relax, and I need something that will be so, will feed my soul. And I know it's going to be controversial for people that know me. Tennessee whiskey is not even something I'm drawn towards. But when in 2020, I met this Jack Daniel Rye Barrel Strength Special Edition, I was floored. I was in love. This Jack Daniel is limited, but I'm telling you, I went through every part of the earth to find me enough to last me probably for the next 5 years, because I wanted to pour me one every Friday. This Jack Daniel come from, House Jack Daniel. They come in different writing. There's a red one, the purple one, the blue one, but they're single barrel. They're barrel strength, and it's just an amazing rye. They cannot stop making this one. If it come out next year, I'm on it. I'm getting it, and trust me, for if you need to a stiff drink or a stiff drink on a Friday night, this is it, right? This is it. So Jack Daniel single barrel strength, and I know you say is limited, but guess what? That's what I like for my rye. Now let's move on to a rye you're going to pull out if you want to impress your guests. Number 4 rye that you actually will use to impress your guests. Now, from what you can see, I've been impressing my guests quite a bit. Because every time somebody comes to my house or a guest come in and they're like, "Oh, I never had BTAC, right?" And you say, "Oh, what type of BTAC lover are you?" Or "What type of whiskey lover are you?" "I love rye." Okay, Thomas Handy, right? I want to impress any of my guests, Thomas Handy. If I hunt for a BTAC, there's only 2 BTAC I hunt for every year. The other ones, if I get it, I get it. One will be the Weller William LaRue, and second is the Thomas Handy. Why the Thomas Handy is like I said, for 5 years I did not like rye. I would not even have it. And 2 years ago, a friend of mine said, "I would trade you another bottle for the Thomas Handy." And I said, "Oh, I think it was Booker's." And I'm like, why not? I'm gonna do it. And then I had another bottle of it. I was lucky to have 2 bottles of them. And I'm like, you know what? Why am I keeping these bottles open to trade or do whatever and whatnot? Let me try it. And when I had it, it was like sleeping in a bed of lavender. It was just flowery lavender that embraced your soul. And I'm like, oh no, I made a mistake. I should have never traded that bottle. But you know what? It's a good friend, and I know it was going to a good home. But if you want to impress any of your guests, make sure you get yourself a BTAC. And I will tell you right now, this Thomas Handy is probably one of the best rye Buffalo Trace ever actually released, just period. And I love to impress my guests. I will serve them the Thomas Handy, and I make sure that I actually keep a backup bottle of this one. This one is a 2019 one, 125 proof, and trust me, amazing. You will impress your guests with that. Number 5, last but not least, special occasion. The only reason why this bottle was a special occasion for me is because it's released once a year, just like, the BTAC. But once it's gone, it's truly gone. And we're going to the House of Heaven Hill to talk about their Parker Heritage selection. This, I would tell you, man, this is my special occasion. I just closed a deal something particular is happening and I just feel like having some rye, I'll have the Parker 8-year heavy charred rye. Oh my God. It is so good. It is so good. And I really, really nurse this bottle. I give myself a 2-ounce pour and I put it back. And my goal, because I only have this bottle of it, my goal is to find another bottle, but on the secondary market right now, I believe is probably close to $500. It's ridiculous, all the prices that are on it. And I was lucky to get this in an auction that I didn't pay the price for, and it's just amazing. So for me, this rye right here, 8-year, 105, heavy charred. They've used, I believe they've used really level 3 charred for this, and oh, amazing rye. These for me, even though we need 5, these are represented for me as 1. These for me are the, and I mean the best 5 ryes that anybody can hold in their house to drink daily, to mix, impress a guest, Friday drinker, and obviously special occasion. Thank you so much for watching. Challenge have been accepted. I took on the challenge. I would love to challenge someone else, but I just want to hear what is your favorite rye and why. So put it under the comment. I'm always here to respond. Tell me what's your favorite rye or your favorite 5 ryes and why. And we'll love to start a conversation. Make sure you follow me on all my social media. And as always, stay safe and we'll see you next time.